Welcome to Teching It Up with Mark. Today we're going to talk about the Nintex Automation K2 localization feature. So this feature is new in the release 5.8, which just came out a couple of weeks ago, and it allows for form translations in both runtime and design time in K2. So we're going to go through this feature, see how to set it up, see how it works, some gotchas for the feature, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, the first thing we would like to do is take a brief look at the documentation for this feature. So here we see that in design time, so when you are in management or K2 designer, you will see the following languages: English, French, Spanish, German, and Arabic. And during runtime, so when our forms are actually being run, so for example, I have this request for employee study form. This could be in several languages listed. It seems like there's over 100, and this will be translated. So for example, if I have Fulan here, we open a browser for him, and we have the study form. We have this translated to Arabic for him. First, let's take a look at where this is in management. So if I go to my K2 server /management, I will see this new node on the bottom here for translations. If I click on this, there's two settings: translation settings and form settings. So first we'll go to translation settings. Here we'll see all the available languages. So if I want French, French will come up with a bunch of different regions. Arabic, we have a bunch of different regions there. English, plenty of them. So we need to find the language we want. Like for example, we'll do Belgium French, and then just move it over. I'm going to move this back now for this demo. Yes, that's okay. And the other thing we need to do here is set the default language. And from there, it's basically it. So after you do this, you will be able to access these forms translations, where K2 or Nintex Automation will automatically find all labels on forms and views when they are saved and set up a translation for them. So let's go add a translation. So I'm going to go over to this employee study form that I've been setting up, and we have employee study request item view. I will check this out and I will edit this. So I have quite a few things in this form already. So we'll add, we have educational institute name, educational institute country, degree level, and we'll ask what the degree is actually in. So I would need to add this to my smart box too, or my smart object, in this case in SQL. But for right now, I'll say study subject. Study subject. We'll add that in there. Now before I save this, we'll go to management and try to find study. We see several things related to study, but not subject. So now I'll go ahead, save this, go back here, refresh the list, and I see study subject. Now once I click on the translation, I have here in the default language, so what I'm actually writing in, study subject. I still need to translate it here. So if I go and check this in, and now I go back to, let's see, who was it again? Fulan's browser. And if I refresh this, I could see there's no translation for this. So here, if I go back to management, I'm just going to go look up a translation for this. So we'll go Google, slowly go there. In the meantime, I'll just grab translation. Oh, it's not even being very convenient for me. I will actually do this off screen in the sake of time. Study subject. And this looks like study subject in Arabic. Good. I'll save that there. Now, if I refresh Fula's browser, I will see that's now translated. Now, to set the language, we just have to go to browser settings. So settings. In any Chrome-based browser, there will be a languages tab or option here. We add the language we need, whatever it may be. Click cancel here. Then we can move it up, move down. I'll move it up because whatever's at the top, it will take that language first. So for Fula's browser, it will take Arabic. And for my browser, if we go to settings here, and this is an Edge, but looks pretty much the same, I have English US as the first one. Okay, good. You could see here in my user's browser too, everything in management is still in English. And if I go to design time, or basically anything that's not runtime there, I will go into, don't have access to it. We'll go straight to designer. I have to enable it, but you can already see that this output of the message is in Arabic. And here in designer too, most things are translated, not names, of course. And we can also see that we've gone from left to right to left to match the Arabic theme. So there's a couple of things I want to bring up with this. So first, although everything on the form is actually translated itself, all the labels, if we have metadata values like I did here in this dropdown, this is actually coming from a database for me. So if I went to approval metadata, so here in the form, let me just get back to that. We have the request type of scholarship or study at own cost. Right now, these are the only things I have in my table. What I needed to do here was also add a translation in Arabic for these things. So what I did, at least for now, I don't know if it's a best practice or there might be a better way to do this. I added 2 columns, one for each language. So English US and Arabic Qatar, but this could be anyone. It might have been better just to have the language code and not the country code added to that. And I also created a stored procedure on top of this. So this stored procedure, I'll send in a culture for the user. And then I'll grab all the data. So this is a list method from the smart object. However, if there's a certain culture like English US, or this browser defaulted to English or Arabic Saudi Arabia, then I'll go grab that appropriate column for that. So I'm not sure if this is the most efficient way to do things, but at least it's enough for a workaround for now. So once I had that, I created my smart object. I populated my drop-down list. That was Fula's drop-down list. I'll go back to my own with that information. I also named this column as culture specific column. A little bit of ChatGPT suggestion there. But if I actually go to this, you could see that I have this list translated method that I set up for it, and I'm getting the cultural specific column. So the value is always saved as metadata ID, as it should be, and then I have the cultural specific column there. Now, to get the culture, if I go to rules, in my initialize method where I have this populate method, and if I click on configure, I could see here that I put in browser culture. This was from system values, client, browser culture, and it just brings in basically what you set in your browser settings there. We could also see this in the form itself. If we go to F12, forms, where's the source code? Source code, yep, we have a source code object, dot forms, dot settings. I think I saw this. Let's see in there. Do we have what we need? Dot culture. Dot culture. So I see that. That's where that's actually being set for us to use in the form itself. I do this on Fula's browser. Let's click F12 to access the tools. It's nice that this is in Arabic. I do not speak. All right, it does not like that paste. Well, we'll go to source code again. Jeez. Forms, dot settings, dot culture. And that's how I could see the language there that I have set. Good. So there's one other thing that I wanted to mention here, or show actually. So this works great for one translation, doing this line by line. It's probably not very practical to do it that way. So we also, oops, did I just delete that translation? Okay, maybe I deleted it. But something else we could do here, we could export all the translations. So we can generate an export file, which produces a CSV. So if we're missing several things from our language, we could just add these here. I'll just take a quick look at this in the downloads folder. Great. From here, if I open it, it will be a CSV. Let's see, we can open this in something a little bit nicer. Yep, we have the key. So this is something generated by K2. The locale, so English US, Arabic, Spanish, whatever we have there. The source, where it's actually found in the control, and the description. So when we go to add a translation, like we did, I didn't see a translation for everything that I had there. I may actually have to add these manually. So I could export this and then add the translations as needed. So through a CSV, I can give this to somebody else to do. And let's see, let's refresh this list. Oh, we didn't delete everything. Let's take another look here. Oh, we still see everything here. Oh, okay. Still have this. Refresh list. I actually don't believe that all these three values, let's see what it did for these create buttons. Good. Are by default created until you click on them. But what I did, since I didn't see these, so let's just add something else, is I created a Python script, actually a Jupyter notebook. So let me just switch to that quickly to fill in these translations automatically. So what I did here is first I imported pandas, And this deep translator, I had to go through a couple of different translators to find this out. Got the source of my file, I set the default language, and it just did a quick query of the unique locales in there. Then from there, I just went through all the translations, and I've done this once already, so for the newer ones. And oh, look at this. It actually is doing some work. Finding the ones that weren't translated. So if there was not a locale for that, and just creating a quick translation. So what I'm actually doing is for each key, each unique key, get the default value. So in English US, what the value is. And then for each locale, if I cannot find this key in locale, then I just get the destination language. So whatever the locale is I'm going through, use this Google Translate thing or this deep translator to get a translation, printing out what I'm going from and to, and then just saving that row back. And after I do that, I'm just checking to see how many lines I actually have there. And then I just output that to CSV. Oh, I'm surprised that worked. It must have overwritten the other one. So once I have that file, and I had done this once already, you can click here to upload it. I'll put that in there. Wait for that to upload. Click the upload. And my translations will be there. So that's how you could do multiple at once and use a script to assist you, at least if you would like to at the beginning. Well, that's about it for the translation feature. I haven't used this in production yet, so it will probably be more best practices to emerge. I hope you like, comment, subscribe for the video, and have a good day. Yep. Thank you.